The tranquil suburb disrupted. It is a peaceful summer evening in the quiet suburban neighborhood. The Johnson family was gathered around the dinner table, enjoying a home-cooked meal and exchanging stories about their day. 8-year-old Emily was animatedly recounting her latest adventure at the community park, much to the delight of her parents, Anna and Michael. Suddenly, a bright light flashed outside, causing the family to pause mid-conversation. Instinctively, Michael rose from his seat and peered out the kitchen window, his brow furrowed in confusion. "What on earth?" he muttered, quickly making his way to the front door. As he opened it, Michael's eyes widened in disbelief. In the middle of their neatly manicured front lawn lay a small, humanoid figure, seemingly disoriented and distressed. Cautiously, he approached the strange visitor, his heart racing with a mixture of curiosity and concern. "Are you all right?" Michael called out, kneeling down beside the alien child. The young being looked up at him with wide, fearful eyes, their delicate features a striking blend of familiarity and otherworldliness. Michael extended a gentle hand, hoping to offer comfort and reassurance. Sensing no immediate threat, the child tentatively reached out and grasped Michael's fingers, their grip surprisingly strong for such a small frame. A wave of relief washed over the man as he realized the child was unharmed, at least physically. "It's okay, you're safe now," he soothed, carefully helping the young alien to their feet. Anna and Emily had now joined Michael on the porch, their expressions mirroring his own bewilderment. "Where did you come from?" Anna asked softly, her maternal instincts kicking in as she studied the child's delicate features. The alien remained silent, their gaze darting nervously between the three humans. Realizing that their unexpected guest was likely frightened and disoriented, the Johnsons ushered the child inside, offering them a warm meal and a comfortable place to rest. As the family gathered around the table once more, the alien child began to slowly relax, their tense shoulders gradually easing. "You're safe here," Michael reiterated, doing his best to convey a sense of calm and reassurance. "Can you tell us your name?" The child hesitated for a moment, then opened their mouth, a series of melodic, unfamiliar sounds spilling forth. The Johnsons exchanged perplexed glances, unsure of how to respond. Sensing their confusion, the child reached out and gently touched Anna's arm, their large eyes conveying a silent plea for understanding. Instinctively, Anna enveloped the child in a comforting embrace, her heart swelling with a protective maternal instinct. As the evening wore on, the Johnsons did their best to make their unexpected guest feel safe and welcome. They provided the child with a warm meal, a cozy blanket, and a quiet space to rest, all the while grappling with the reality of their extraordinary situation. "Where do you think they came from?" Emily asked, her eyes alight with wonder as she observed the child's every movement. Michael shook his head, lost in thought. "I'm not sure, honey, but we'll do our best to help them, okay?" The child, sensing the family's kindness and concern, gradually began to open up, using a combination of gestures, expressions, and the occasional, halting word to communicate. It became clear that they had been separated from their own people, stranded in this unfamiliar world through some unknown circumstance. As the hours passed, the Johnsons grew increasingly attached to their young visitor, their initial bewilderment slowly giving way to a sense of protectiveness and responsibility. They knew that the child's presence would inevitably draw attention, both from curious neighbors and potentially from whatever forces had brought them here in the first place. "We can't keep them hidden forever," Anna whispered to Michael, her brow furrowed with worry. "What if someone comes looking for them?" Michael wrapped a comforting arm around his wife, his gaze drifting to the sleeping child curled up on their living room couch. "We'll cross that bridge when we come to it," he replied, determination etched in his voice. "For now, let's just focus on keeping them safe and making them feel at home." Anna nodded, her expression resolute. Whatever challenges lay ahead, the Johnsons were prepared to face them head-on, their family bond stronger than any threat that might loom on the horizon. As the night wore on, the Johnson household remained a peaceful oasis, untouched by the tumultuous events that would soon unfold across the galaxy, events that would irrevocably change the course of human history. The Johnson family's peaceful existence was about to be shattered, unbeknownst to them, by forces far beyond the confines of their quiet suburban neighborhood. Deep in the heart of the Galactic Council's capital, the disappearance of a young alien child had sent shockwaves through the halls of power. The child, a scion of one of the Council's most influential families, had vanished without a trace, their unexplained absence causing a growing sense of unease and alarm. Corleth, the head of the Galactic Council's elite security forces, stood before a panel of concerned leaders, his brow furrowed with determination. "We have reason to believe the child has been stranded on a primitive backwater planet known as Earth," he announced, his voice crisp and authoritative. The other council members exchanged troubled glances, the gravity of the situation weighing heavily upon them. Earth, a relatively young and technologically unsophisticated civilization, had only recently made first contact with the Galactic Council, its people still grappling with the implications of their newfound cosmic neighbors. "This is a delicate matter," one of the council members spoke up, her eyes narrowed in contemplation. "We cannot afford to have the child's disappearance become public knowledge, lest it spark unrest and discord within the galactic community." Corleth nodded, his expression grim. "I have already dispatched our most skilled operatives to locate the child and retrieve them, by any means necessary. We cannot allow this incident to compromise the Galactic Council's authority or the fragile peace we have established with the humans." With a curt nod, the council members unanimously approved Corleth's plan, their faces etched with a mixture of concern and determination. The fate of the missing child, and the delicate balance of power within the Galactic Council, now rested in the hands of the elite security force. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the Johnsons continued to care for their young alien guest, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing beyond their planet's borders. The child had slowly begun to open up, sharing what little they could remember of their own world and people. "They must be so worried," Anna murmured, her heart aching for the child's family. "We have to find a way to get you home, safe and sound." The child's large, expressive eyes conveyed a silent plea, their delicate features a striking contrast to the harsh reality they now faced. Michael placed a reassuring hand on his wife's shoulder, his own brow furrowed with concern. "I know, honey, but we can't risk putting them in harm's way, not until we know more about what we're dealing with." The Johnsons had quickly realized that their unexpected guest was no ordinary child, and that harboring them could potentially put their family in grave danger. As the days passed, the Johnsons did their best to provide the child with a sense of comfort and security, shielding them from the prying eyes of curious neighbors and the outside world. They knew, however, that their efforts could only last for so long before their secret was inevitably discovered. Little did they know that the Galactic Council's elite operatives had already traced the child's trail to their unassuming suburban home. Corleth, his face a stoic mask of determination, led a team of highly trained agents as they infiltrated the neighborhood, their movements swift and silent. In the dead of night, the Johnsons were roused from their slumber by a series of frantic knocks at their front door. Michael, his heart pounding, cautiously peeked through the window, his eyes widening in alarm at the sight of the unfamiliar figures outside. "Anna, get Emily and the child, quickly," he whispered urgently, his hand already reaching for the nearest makeshift weapon. "We've got company, and they don't look friendly." As the Johnsons scrambled to hide their young guest, the front door was violently kicked in, the sound of heavy boots echoing through the once peaceful house. Corleth and his team of operatives swept through the home, their movements precise and ruthless, leaving no corner unchecked. The child, trembling with fear, clung to Anna, their small hands gripping her shirt with a vice-like intensity. Emily, her eyes wide with terror, huddled close to her mother, her lips pressed tightly together, stifling a sob. Corleth's gaze finally settled on the huddled figures, his expression hardening. "There you are," he growled, his voice a deep, rumbling bass. "You've caused us quite a bit of trouble, little one." The child let out a terrified whimper, the sound cutting through the tense silence like a knife. In that moment, the Johnsons knew that their lives, and the life of their young guest, had been irrevocably altered. The Galactic Council had come for their child, and they would stop at nothing to retrieve them, no matter the cost. The Johnsons' tranquil suburban sanctuary had been shattered by the sudden arrival of the Galactic Council's elite operatives, led by the imposing figure of Corleth. The child, their small frame trembling with fear, clung to Anna, their large eyes pleading for refuge. Corleth's gaze swept across the room, his expression unreadable. "Hand over the child, and no one has to get hurt," he commanded, his voice laced with a subtle menace. Michael, his protective instincts surging, stepped forward, his jaw set with determination. "You're not taking them anywhere," he growled, his hands clenched into fists at his sides. "They're a part of our family now, and we won't let you just waltz in and snatch them away." Corleth's eyes narrowed, his patience wearing thin. "This is a matter of Galactic Council security," he retorted, his tone brooking no argument. "The child is a valued member of one of our most influential families, and their disappearance has caused quite a stir. I suggest you cooperate, for your own sake." The Johnsons remained steadfast, their stance unwavering. "We won't hand them over, no matter what you say," Anna declared, her voice trembling slightly but her resolve unwavering. "This child is our responsibility now, and we intend to keep them safe." Corleth's expression darkened, and he raised a hand, signaling to his team of operatives. "So be it," he growled, the words laced with a hint of regret. "Take them." Chaos erupted as the Galactic Council's agents surged forward, their movements swift and efficient. Michael and Anna fought back with everything they had, desperate to shield the child from harm, but they were hopelessly outmatched by the superior strength and training of their opponents. Emily, her eyes wide with terror, watched helplessly as her parents were overpowered, their cries of defiance eventually silenced. The child, their small form cradled in the arms of one of the operatives, let out a heart-wrenching wail, their despairing voice piercing the air. In a matter of moments, the Johnsons' home had been reduced to a scene of devastation, the once peaceful sanctuary now a battlefield. Corleth, his expression grim, gestured to his team, and they swiftly made their way out of the house, the child's cries echoing in their wake. As the Galactic Council's forces disappeared into the night, the Johnsons lay sprawled on the floor, battered and bruised, their spirits crushed by the realization that they had failed to protect the child they had grown to love. Michael, his face etched with anguish, pulled Anna close, his embrace conveying a silent promise to make things right. Emily, her small frame shaking with sobs, curled up beside them, her heart aching for the loss of their newfound friend. The news of the Galactic Council's violent abduction spread like wildfire, igniting a wave of outrage and grief across the globe. Eyewitness accounts of the brutality that had unfolded in the quiet suburban neighborhood shocked and appalled the human population, sparking a growing call for justice. In the halls of power, world leaders scrambled to respond, their diplomatic channels with the Galactic Council strained to the breaking point. Demands for the child's safe return and accountability for the Galactic Council's actions echoed through the international community, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. Corleth, his mission accomplished, reported back to the Galactic Council, his expression impassive. "The child has been retrieved," he announced, his voice devoid of emotion. "The human family that sheltered them has been neutralized." The council members exchanged cautious glances, their unease palpable. "And the human reaction?" one of them inquired, her brow furrowed with concern. "Predictably volatile," Corleth replied. "They are demanding answers and calling for retribution. However, I believe the matter can be contained, provided we maintain a firm grip on our public relations efforts." The council members nodded, their faces masks of calculated calm. They knew that the fallout from this incident could have far-reaching consequences, both for the Galactic Council's reputation and the delicate balance of power in the cosmos. But for now, their primary concern was the safe return of the child, a matter they would see to with the utmost urgency, regardless of the cost. As the Johnsons grappled with their grief and helplessness, an ember of fury began to smolder within their hearts. They had witnessed the Galactic Council's brutality firsthand, and they knew that they could not simply stand by and accept this injustice. Somewhere, deep within their souls, a resolve was forming, a determination to fight back and reclaim what had been stolen from them. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the very foundations of the Galactic Council's dominance, a reckoning that would forever alter the course of human history. The echoes of outrage. The news of the Galactic Council's violent abduction of the young alien child from the Johnson family's home reverberated across the globe, igniting a firestorm of outrage and grief within the human population. Eyewitness accounts of the horrific incident, shared through social media and news outlets, sparked an immediate and passionate response. Millions of people, from all walks of life, expressed their shock and horror at the Galactic Council's callous disregard for the child's well-being and the sanctity of the human family that had provided them refuge. "How could they do this?" cried a young woman, her voice trembling with emotion, as she addressed a crowd of protesters gathered outside the United Nations headquarters. That child was innocent, and they tore them away from the only home they had known, without a moment's hesitation. The impassioned plea struck a chord with the throng of people, their cries of anger and anguish echoing through the streets. Across the world, similar demonstrations erupted, as human communities from all corners of the globe united in their demand for justice and retribution against the Galactic Council. In the halls of power, world leaders scrambled to respond to the escalating crisis, their diplomatic channels with the Galactic Council strained to the breaking point. Heated negotiations and accusations flew back and forth as each side attempted to sway public opinion and assert their moral authority. "This is an unacceptable violation of human rights and the established protocols of first contact," declared the President of the United States, her brow furrowed with determination. "The Galactic Council must be held accountable for their actions, and the child must be returned to their family immediately." The Galactic Council, however, remained steadfast in their position, their representatives dismissing the human outcry as an emotional overreaction. They maintained that the child was a member of a prominent Galactic Council family, and their retrieval was a matter of vital security and political importance. The child's disappearance posed a grave threat to the stability of the galactic community, argued one of the Galactic Council's spokespersons, his tone laced with condescension. The human family's actions, while well-intentioned, were ultimately reckless and irresponsible. "We had no choice but to intervene and reclaim what was rightfully ours." The human populace, however, was not swayed by these arguments. Widespread outrage and a growing sense of betrayal swept through the global consciousness, fueling a collective demand for action. In the days that followed, grassroots organizations and activist groups sprang into action, organizing large-scale protests, fundraising campaigns, and social media movements to amplify the human voice. Thousands of individuals, united in their grief and anger, pledged their support to the cause, determined to ensure that the Galactic Council's atrocity would not be forgotten or swept under the rug. "We won't rest until our child is safely returned, and those responsible are held accountable," declared the Johnsons, their faces etched with a mixture of sorrow and resolve. "This is not just about our family. It's about the rights and dignity of all humanity. We will fight, and we will win." Their words resonated with the global community, inspiring a surge of solidarity and collective purpose. Across the world, human ingenuity and determination coalesced as people from all walks of life began to explore ways to confront the Galactic Council and exact retribution for their heinous actions. In the shadows, a new movement was taking shape, one that would soon emerge from the darkness and challenge the very foundation of the Galactic Council's power. This was no longer simply a matter of diplomacy or peaceful negotiation. It was a battle for the soul of humanity, a fight for the right to forge their own destiny, unshackled by the constraints of an interstellar order that had failed them. As the world held its breath, bracing for the inevitable clash between the human race and a galactic council, the Johnsons clung to the hope that their child would be returned to them, safe and unharmed. But deep within their hearts, a fire had been ignited, one that would not be quenched until justice had been served, and the cruel injustice they had witnessed was set right. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the very foundations of the Galactic Council's dominance, a reckoning that would test the limits of human resilience and the unbreakable spirit of a people determined to forge their own destiny, no matter the cost. The forging of a covert resistance. The Galactic Council's brazen abduction of the young alien child from the Johnson family's home had sent shockwaves throughout the human world, igniting a global outcry for justice and retribution. Yet, as the diplomatic channels between Earth and the interstellar body remained strained and unproductive, a growing contingent of human leaders and thinkers began to realize that traditional means of recourse might not be enough to confront the Galactic Council's overwhelming power and influence. In the shadows of government offices and university laboratories, a covert resistance movement was taking shape, its members united by a shared determination to devise a plan that would level the playing field and enable humanity to strike back against the Galactic Council's tyranny. At the heart of this clandestine effort was Dr. Amelia Watts, a brilliant astrophysicist whose groundbreaking research into advanced propulsion systems had made her a vital asset in humanity's burgeoning space exploration efforts. Driven by a deep-rooted sense of outrage and a desire for vengeance, Amelia had assembled a team of the world's foremost scientific and military minds, all of whom were committed to uncovering the Galactic Council's weaknesses and developing a comprehensive strategy to confront them. The Galactic Council may have the advantage in terms of technology and resources, but we have something they can never truly comprehend: the boundless ingenuity and adaptability of the human spirit. Amelia declared, her eyes alight with a fierce determination. If we can leverage our strengths and exploit their vulnerabilities, we may just have a chance of striking back and reclaiming what they've stolen from us. As the team delved deeper into their research, it became increasingly clear that the Galactic Council's technological superiority was not indestructible. Amelia and her colleagues unearthed critical intelligence about the Council's reliance on centralized command and control systems, as well as the potential weaknesses inherent in their seemingly impenetrable defenses. If we can find a way to disrupt their communication networks and sabotage their supply lines, we may be able to cripple their ability to project power across the galaxy, proposed General Liam Harrington, a seasoned military strategist whose expertise in asymmetric warfare had earned him a reputation as a master of unconventional tactics. The team nodded in agreement, their eyes alight with the thrill of discovery and the promise of a bold, audacious plan. Humanity's limitations in terms of military might and advanced technology might have been a significant disadvantage, but the human resistance had something far more powerful: a burning desire for justice and a willingness to take unprecedented risks in the pursuit of their goals. As the weeks turned into months, the covert resistance movement gained traction, with recruits from across the globe volunteering their skills and resources to the cause. Amelia and her team worked tirelessly, piecing together a comprehensive strategy that would leverage humanity's strengths and exploit the Galactic Council's weaknesses, all while remaining hidden from the prying eyes of their interstellar adversaries. The Johnsons, still reeling from the trauma of their loss, were drawn into the resistance movement, their desire for vengeance fueling their determination to support the plan. Michael and Anna, their faces etched with a newfound resolve, pledged their unwavering commitment to the cause, while Emily, her youthful idealism tempered by a deep sense of injustice, became a symbol of the human resistance's fight for a better future. As the preparations for the covert counterattack neared completion, a palpable sense of tension and anticipation hung in the air. The human resistance knew that they were embarking on a perilous journey, one that would pit their fragile capabilities against the might of the Galactic Council, but they were undaunted. For them, this was not simply a battle for the return of the abducted child. It was a fight for the very future of humanity, a chance to prove that the human spirit could not be broken, no matter the odds. With unwavering resolve and a deep, abiding faith in their own ingenuity, the members of the covert resistance movement stood poised to unleash a strike that would reverberate across the cosmos, forever altering the balance of power and shattering the Galactic Council's dominance over the affairs of the galaxy. Infiltrating the Galactic Stronghold. As the months passed, the covert human resistance movement, led by the brilliant scientist Dr. Amelia Watts and her team of elite operatives, diligently worked to prepare for their audacious strike against the Galactic Council. Their goal was not only to reclaim the abducted alien child from the clutches of their captors, but also to cripple the interstellar body's power and influence, shattering the illusion of their invincibility. Amelia and her team had meticulously studied the Galactic Council's weaknesses, uncovering critical vulnerabilities in their communication networks and command structures. Now the time had come to put their meticulously crafted plan into motion. Under the cover of darkness, a team of highly trained human operatives, handpicked for their specialized skills and unwavering commitment to the cause, infiltrated the Galactic Council's heavily fortified homeworld. Their mission was to gather vital intelligence, map the layout of the Council's most secure facilities, and identify the precise location of the abducted child. Leading the infiltration team was Captain Ava Sanchez, a former Special Forces operative whose expertise in covert operations and tactical espionage had made her an invaluable asset to the resistance movement. With a steely determination etched on her face, Ava and her team slipped past the Galactic Council's formidable defenses, their movements swift and silent, like ghosts in the night. As they navigated the unfamiliar territory, Ava and her team encountered unexpected challenges, from advanced security systems to highly trained Galactic Council guards. But with meticulous planning and unwavering discipline, they managed to evade detection and gather the critical information they needed to complete their mission. The child is being held in a heavily fortified compound, guarded by the Council's most elite forces, Ava reported, her voice terse but her eyes shining with a glimmer of triumph. We've also identified the central command and control hub, as well as the primary supply lines that keep the Council's operations running. Amelia listened intently, her brow furrowed in concentration. Excellent work, Ava. This intel will be invaluable in our efforts to strike back at the Galactic Council. Now, we need to finalize the details of our counterattack plan. Over the following weeks, the Resistance Movement's command center buzzed with frantic activity as Amelia and her team refined their strategy, leveraging the intelligence gathered by Ava's team to devise a comprehensive and daring plan of action. We'll need to hit the Council's command hub and supply lines simultaneously, disrupting their ability to coordinate a cohesive response. Liam Harrington, the military strategist, proposed, his eyes gleaming with a tactical brilliance. And we'll also need to ensure that the child is safely extracted during the chaos, Anna Johnson added, her voice laced with a determined maternal ferocity. We can't leave them in the Galactic Council's hands, not after what they've done. The Johnsons, having been at the heart of the Galactic Council's brutality, were now fully committed to the resistance movement's cause, their grief and anger fueling their unwavering resolve. As the final preparations were made, a palpable sense of tension and anticipation hung in the air. The human resistance knew that they were embarking on a perilous journey, one that would pit their fragile capabilities against the might of the Galactic Council. But they were undaunted, their collective determination forged in the crucible of their shared loss and a burning desire for justice. With a deep breath, Amelia addressed the assembled team, her eyes shining with a fierce determination. Remember, we're not just fighting for the return of the child, we're fighting for the very future of our species. This is our chance to show the Galactic Council that humanity cannot be broken, no matter the odds. Are you ready? The resounding chorus of affirmations that echoed through the command center was a testament to the unbreakable spirit of the human resistance. They were poised to unleash a strike that would reverberate across the cosmos, forever shattering the Galactic Council's illusion of invincibility. As the mission began, the world held its breath, bracing for the impact of a confrontation that would irrevocably alter the balance of power in the galaxy. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the very foundations of the Galactic Council's dominance. The human resistance, led by the brilliant Dr. Amelia Watts and her team of elite operatives, had meticulously planned their daring strike against the interstellar body's most secure facilities. With the critical intelligence gathered by Ava's infiltration team, the resistance movement was poised to unleash a coordinated, multi-pronged attack that would cripple the Galactic Council's ability to respond effectively. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the first phase of the operation commenced. A team of highly skilled hackers, under the direction of Amelia's top cybersecurity experts, launched a coordinated assault on the Galactic Council's communication networks, flooding their systems with a barrage of sophisticated viruses and data disruptions. "We've managed to infiltrate their command and control hub," reported one of the hackers, her fingers flying across the keyboard. Their ability to coordinate a unified response is already beginning to crumble. Simultaneously, another team of resistance fighters, armed with advanced weaponry and cutting-edge tech, launched a daring raid on the Galactic Council's primary supply depots, systematically disrupting the flow of vital resources and material. "The Council's logistical backbone is buckling under the strain," Liam Harrington announced, his face etched with a grim satisfaction. "Their forces are becoming increasingly isolated and vulnerable." As the Galactic Council's forces struggled to regain control of the situation, the final phase of the human resistance's plan was set into motion. Ava and her team of elite operatives, having silently infiltrated the compound where the abducted child was being held, launched a daring rescue mission, using the chaos and confusion of the broader assault to their advantage. Weaving through the corridors of the heavily fortified facility, Ava and her team encountered fierce resistance from the Galactic Council's most seasoned guards. But their training, their determination, and their intimate knowledge of the compound's layout gave them a crucial edge. "We've located the child." Ava's voice crackled over the comlink, her words punctuated by the sound of weapons fire. "They're scared, but unharmed. We're moving to extract them now." Amelia, her heart pounding, listened intently, her fingers drumming against the console as she monitored the progress of the mission. "Copy that, Ava. Hang tight. We're coming to provide air support." With the Galactic Council's forces stretched thin and their command structure in disarray, Amelia's team unleashed a barrage of precision airstrikes, targeting key infrastructure and military installations across the planet. The thunderous explosions and the sight of their mighty war machines crumbling into ruins sent shockwaves through the Galactic Council's leadership. As the chaos escalated, Ava and her team made their daring escape, the child cradled protectively in their arms. Weaving through the mayhem, they managed to reach a designated extraction point, where a heavily modified transport ship stood ready to spirit them to safety. "We've got the child." Ava's voice crackled triumphantly over the comlink. "Returning to base, ETA 5 minutes." A collective sigh of relief washed over the Resistance Movement's command center, but there was no time to rest on their laurels. The human resistance knew that this was just the beginning of a much larger confrontation, one that would test the limits of their ingenuity and their resolve. As the transport ship touched down, the Johnsons rushed forward, their eyes brimming with tears of joy and relief. They embraced the child, who clung to them with a desperation born of unspeakable trauma, their small frame trembling with a mixture of fear and gratitude. "You're safe now," Anna whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "We're here, and we're not going to let anyone hurt you ever again." The moment was bittersweet, a brief respite in the midst of a much larger, more daunting struggle. For the human resistance, this was not just about the return of the child. It was about asserting humanity's rightful place in the galactic order and reclaiming their autonomy from the Galactic Council's oppressive grip. As the child was reunited with the Johnsons, the human resistance prepared to embark on the next phase of their audacious plan, their eyes fixed on the horizon, determined to shatter the Galactic Council's dominance and forge a new path for the future of their species. The confrontation that had been sparked by the Galactic Council's brutal actions was far from over, and the world held its breath, bracing for the impact of a conflict that would irrevocably alter the balance of power in the galaxy. The human resistance's daring and coordinated counterattack had sent shockwaves through the Galactic Council, shattering the illusion of their invincibility and leaving the interstellar body reeling in the aftermath. As the dust settled, the scale of the human resistance's achievements became increasingly apparent. Their meticulously planned assault had successfully crippled the Galactic Council's communication and logistics networks, disrupting their ability to mount an effective response. The rescue of the abducted child, once thought to be an impossible task, had been executed with precision and audacity, further humiliating the Council's elite security forces. In the heart of the Galactic Council's capital, the leaders convened in a state of panic and disbelief, desperately trying to regain control of the rapidly unraveling situation. How could this have happened? One of the council members, their usually stoic facade crumbling, demanded. "We are the most powerful interstellar body in the galaxy. These upstart humans should not have been able to breach our defenses, let alone launch such a devastating counterattack." Corleth, the head of the Galactic Council's security forces, stood before the assembled leaders, his expression grim and his shoulders tensed with the weight of his failure. "The humans have proven to be far more resourceful and determined than we anticipated," he admitted, his voice laced with a rare hint of uncertainty. "Their tactics and technology have exceeded our expectations, and they have exploited our weaknesses with ruthless efficiency." The other council members exchanged troubled glances, their brows furrowed with a growing sense of unease. The Galactic Council had long prided itself on its ability to maintain a firm grip on the affairs of the galaxy, but now, that very foundation was crumbling beneath their feet. "We must regain control of this situation, at all costs," one of the leaders declared, their voice trembling with a mixture of fear and determination. "The humans must be crushed, their resistance quelled, and our dominance reaffirmed. Failure is not an option." Corleth nodded, his expression hardening. "I will mobilize our entire military force and dispatch them to the human homeworld. We will not stop until every last trace of their rebellion has been eradicated." But as the Galactic Council's forces mustered for a counteroffensive, the human resistance movement was already several steps ahead, their next phase of the plan unfolding with meticulous precision. Amelia Watts, the brilliant mastermind behind the Resistance's strategy, had anticipated the Galactic Council's desperation and had devised a multifaceted plan to capitalize on their weaknesses. "The Council is crumbling from within," she declared, her eyes shining with a fierce determination. "Their grip on power is slipping, and we need to push them to the brink of collapse. Only then can we truly forge a new equitable relationship between humanity and the Galactic Council." Across the globe, the human resistance movement sprang into action, leveraging their extensive network of operatives and resources to target the Galactic Council's most vulnerable pressure points. They launched a relentless campaign of sabotage, sowing chaos and discord within the Council's ranks and exploiting the growing unrest among the Council's member species. As the Galactic Council's forces struggled to maintain control, their political and military structures began to crumble, the cracks in their facade widening with each passing day. The humans' tenacity, resourcefulness, and sheer determination proved to be a formidable challenge, one that the Council had never anticipated. The abducted child, now safely returned to the Johnsons, became a powerful symbol of the human resistance's fight for justice and autonomy. Their story, shared across the global networks, inspired countless others to join the cause, fueling a groundswell of support that the Galactic Council found increasingly difficult to contain. In the shadows, the human resistance continued to chip away at the Galactic Council's power, dismantling their supply chains, disrupting their communication networks, and sowing seeds of dissent among the Council's member species. The once mighty interstellar body found itself increasingly isolated and vulnerable, its grip on the galaxy slipping through its fingers. As the world watched in awe and trepidation, the Galactic Council's downfall unfolded like a slow-motion tragedy, a testament to the human spirit's unwavering determination and the power of collective action. The stage was now set for a new era, one where humanity would emerge as a formidable player in the galactic community, ready to forge its own destiny and shape the future of the cosmos. The Galactic Council, once a bastion of power and influence, had been shaken to its very core by the human resistance's relentless onslaught. The meticulously orchestrated campaign of sabotage, disruption, and strategic strikes had gradually eroded the interstellar body's grip on the galaxy, leaving it in a state of unprecedented crisis. As the Council's political and military structures crumbled, a power vacuum began to emerge, creating an opportunity for a shift in the cosmic balance of power. Humanity, once dismissed as a primitive and insignificant species, now found itself poised to seize this moment and forge a new path for its place in the galactic community. At the heart of this momentous transformation was the Johnsons, the family whose selfless act of sheltering the abducted alien child had ignited the human resistance's quest for justice and retribution. Now their role had expanded beyond the confines of their suburban home, as they stepped onto the interstellar stage, determined to shape the future of their species and the galaxy at large. "We've come too far to simply return to the status quo," Michael Johnson declared, his voice resonating with a newfound conviction. "The Galactic Council's actions have shown us that we cannot rely on their benevolence or their willingness to treat us as equals. It's time for humanity to take its rightful place among the stars, on our own terms." The Johnsons' words struck a chord with the global community, inspiring a renewed sense of purpose and unity among the human resistance movement. Across the world, people of all backgrounds and walks of life rallied behind the cause, eager to contribute their skills, resources, and determination to the unfolding cosmic drama. As the Galactic Council's hold on power continued to crumble, the human resistance seized the initiative, forging strategic alliances with other alien civilizations who had long chafed under the Council's autocratic rule. Together, they worked tirelessly to dismantle the Council's remaining strongholds, systematically dismantling its military might and political influence. "The Galactic Council's days of unilateral control are over," declared Amelia Watts, the brilliant architect of the human resistance's strategy. "We're now part of a new collaborative galactic community where all civilizations, including humanity, have an equal seat at the table." The Johnsons, their once quiet suburban home now a hub of interstellar diplomacy and intrigue, watched with a mixture of pride and humility as the world they knew transformed before their eyes. The child they had once sheltered, now a symbol of hope and resilience, stood by their side, their large eyes reflecting a renewed sense of belonging and purpose. "You're home," Anna whispered, enveloping the child in a warm embrace. "And this time, we'll make sure no one ever takes you away from us, or from the family you found in the stars." As the dust settled, and the new galactic order took shape, humanity emerged as a formidable player, its presence and influence felt across the cosmos. The Galactic Council, once a towering monolith of power, had been reduced to a shadow of its former self, its members forced to reckon with the consequences of their own arrogance and disregard for the rights of other civilizations. In the corridors of the newly established Galactic Congress, human representatives, including the Johnsons, sat alongside their alien counterparts, their voices carrying the weight of a species that had proven its resilience, its ingenuity, and its unwavering commitment to forging its own destiny. "We've come a long way, and we've faced immense challenges," Michael Johnson stated, addressing the assembled delegates. "But through our united efforts, we've shown the galaxy that humanity is more than just a fledgling civilization. We're a force to be reckoned with, and we're here to stay." As the Johnsons and their human colleagues worked tirelessly to shape the new galactic order, the abducted child, now a cherished member of their extended family, looked out upon the vast expanse of the cosmos, their eyes shining with a newfound hope and wonder. The once quiet suburban neighborhood, the site of the Galactic Council's brutality, had become a symbol of humanity's triumph, a testament to the power of resilience, compassion, and the unyielding spirit of a people determined to forge their own destiny, regardless of the odds. The story of the Galactic Council's downfall and humanity's rise to galactic prominence had become the stuff of legend, inspiring generations to come and forever altering the course of cosmic history.